De Ligt moving from Juventus to Bayern Munich may just be one of the top signings of the summer. Not only is De Ligt an incredible player, an incredible young player, an incredible talent, but if you're thinking of this deal from Bayern's point of view, they already have the likes of Alphonso Davies, of Upamecano, so in short, a young defensive core, and now you also add in De Ligt. It is clear to me that this team is trying to build for the future, and again, I've also talked about Barcelona's plan to build for the future, Real Madrid's plan to build for the future, and it also looks like Bayern are doing the same thing. These big teams have realized that you can't rely on your best players for the whole time. At some point, you need to be thinking about the future, and this is another thing that this De Ligt signing does. It makes Bayern better right now, and it also kind of ensures their defensive future for the seasons to come. Welcome back to the JVM Football channel, where you can find game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. If you are interested and would like more football content like this, please subscribe to the channel. So let's look at Bayern. First of all, let's look at Bayern's current defensive state, how they performed this season, and begin to understand why they needed to sign De Ligt, how De Ligt makes them better, and how strong are Bayern coming into this next season, at least defensively as we speak. Okay, so how was Bayern's defense last season? Last season, Bayern conceded 1.1 goals per game in the Bundesliga alone. We're not even talking about the Champions League. So in the Bundesliga, they conceded 1.1 goals per game, and considering the fact that Bayern are always trying to win the Bundesliga, the fact that they've pretty much dominated the Bundesliga for the past decade, as they've won more titles than any other team, more domestic titles than any other team in Europe's top 5 leagues, Bayern are really strong on performing well in the league, as they go out to try and win other titles like the Champions League, other European titles, for example. To concede 1.1 goals per game, it is not good enough. Let's look at another team that has dominated their league for quite some time and who looks to continue to want to win, and that is Manchester City. A team who last season only conceded 0.7 goals per game. So, as you can see, Bayern is not the worst thing in the world. Conceding 1.1 goals per game is not the worst thing in the world. But again, when you're looking at the standards that Bayern have, that's why I brought up a team like Manchester City, who kind of have the same standards as Bayern when it comes to winning the league. It doesn't look too good for Bayern. Even their centre-back options right now, they're not, I don't call them bad, but they're not the best you can get in Europe. And again, that is a problem when Bayern are constantly going out there trying to win the Champions League, winning the Bundesliga again consecutively. So they have Upamecano and Pavard mainly, and although they are both good centre backs, they are not the best that you could get, and De Ligt is one of the best that you could get. And again, De Ligt is the best young centre back in the world. If we're talking about some of the best young players in the world, you think of the likes of Mbappe, Haaland, Foden, Vinicius, and etc. But defensively, there's not, at least especially in the centre back position, there aren't many players at that level. Because one, being a centre back, being an elite centre back takes years of experience, as the minimal mistake from a centre back can pretty much make your team lose the whole game. So to be an elite centre back takes time, and for the league to already be an elite centre back, to already be one of the best centre backs in the world, is quite impressive. And it shows where Bayern are at and what the expectations are coming into this season. Now, how has the league performed over the past 3 seasons compared to his best campaign for Ajax? So, at Juventus, of course, De Ligt has seen some success, but he's also been part of Juventus' worst 2 seasons over the past decade. In his first year there, they won the Serie A, but then in the next 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons, the 2020-2021 campaign and the 2021-2022 campaign, Juventus lost back-to-back seasons to both Milan clubs. In the 2019-2020 season, De Ligt's first year with the Bianconero, a year where they actually won the league, these are De Ligt's defensive averages: 0.9 interceptions per game. He helped them to 8 clean sheets. He registered 0.9 tackles per game and 3.3 clearances per game, which aren't the best stats, But we'll analyze these stats in just a moment as we look at the other 2 seasons. Then in the 2020-2021 campaign, these are the league stats for the league. Again, I should have probably mentioned this before. The stats that we were looking at only concern the league, as these demonstrate the most volume. For example, the Ligt played 27 games this season, and it shows a variety of games where they play against weaker opposition, stronger opposition, and it shows how the Ligt adapts to each of them. So again, in this season, the Ligt helped the team to 3 clean sheets, registered 1.1 interceptions per game, 1.4 tackles per game, and 2.4 clearances per game. These are his interceptions and tackles per game, going up slightly, but his clearances per game dropping down a bit. And then in this past season, the Ligt helped the team to 11 clean sheets, which is also quite funny because this is the season where they finished the lowest, but this is also the season where they got the most clean sheets. I think this goes to show how well Juventus and how good Juventus were in the second part of the season. And this year, the Ligt has averaged 0.8 interceptions per game, 1.1 tackles per game, and 3.1 clearances per game. The Ligt stats are very similar to that of a player like Van Dijk, who they usually don't get the most interceptions or tackles per game as they are not that aggressive. However, these are players that will get the most clearances per game, which just show their awareness and understanding of the game to act when the team need them most. So, for example, this season, Van Dijk has averaged lower than 1 interception per game and lower than 1 tackle per game, but both himself and De Ligt have averaged 3 clearances per game. This is not to say that De Ligt is going to reach the level that Van Dijk is at right now, but it's to say that their game is very similar. And if you haven't been, watching the Ligt over the past 3 seasons, then you at least get to see what he is like, and I think that the Van Dijk comparison is quite a good one. So where does he fit in this Bayern squad, and what will he add to the team? As I've just read off some of his stats, and as I have just made that comparison to Van Dijk, I think that the Ligt is going to be instrumental in this Bayern defense, in this Bayern young defense, especially the likes of Upamecano. I think that the Ligt and Upamecano are a match made in heaven, quite similar to a lot of the best defensive matches that we've had over the past few seasons in football. When you think about some of the best defensive duos in football, you think of the likes, at least over the past few decades, but last decade, you think of the likes of Piqué and Puyol, or Varane and Sergio Ramos. As Upamecano is going to be the most aggressive type player that's going to get a lot of interceptions and tackles, and the Ligt is going to be more of that conservative player, conservative centre back that is going to be able to look at the game and analyse it and get high amounts of clearances per game that are of course going to help the team. But yeah, this move of the Ligt to Bayern Munich is an exciting one that I'm looking forward to, and one that hopefully works out for the best for both parties, both for the Ligt, as I think that this is a much better move for him in this period of his career. I would have still preferred to see the Ligt in the Premier League for Chelsea, but Bayern's good enough. And in terms of Bayern, this is something that I've already talked about 3 times in this video. It is the young core that they are building, and that is going to serve them for years to come. But anyways guys, thank you very much for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.